wanna draw, I wanna make creative people everywhere. I want children with light bulbs inside their brains. They're going off, they're going in, they're going down, they're losing skin, they're going out, they're going up and over. Cause art is the best thing that ever happened to the likes of me. Something like that. That's a theme song. Not the best theme song. Haven't really thought it through very much. I think that's alright. Okay. How's everybody doing out there today? My name is Storie Grubb, and I like to draw and stuff. It's Sunday for a lot of people, and it's tomorrow for others. A lot of people live in the past, and I think that's okay too. Just as long as you can snap out of it and cut yourself some slack. Golly gosh darn dang, be the person that you were born to be. Don't be afraid. We've all got to start somewhere. I thought I might come back to this one and work on filling in those gaps. And it works so much better when you have a pen that has ink in it. Especially if you're an illustrator. You rely on the ink. That's very helpful. Oh gosh. I'm alone. I'm all alone here. Like 30 people will drop in, and then 29 of them will drop out within like 5 seconds. I don't know what I have to do to retain people's attention, but I wouldn't like watching grass grow either. I'm sure that's what this is like. It's not like graffiti where it's just like immediate and there's some kind of like immediate gratification thing going on. It's mostly me just talking and drawing very slowly like this. See, our last song. But it's not about those who I lost. It's about those who I gain. And any of you are welcome here any time of the day. Thank you, Melissa. Melissa Jägerberger. I had a cat named Jägerberger back in college. Any relation? I think its middle name was Melissa. And but the first name was Gibraltar. That cat was a stud. We didn't have names for things like that back then, so we just named them after the first thing we see. I found him when I was climbing the Rock of Gibraltar. I found him in a little nook, and then the rest is history. I don't know why it looks so brown. It looks like a turd. Thank you, Bacon. I appreciate that too. Thank you, Bacon, for saying such nice things to me. I was growing up in the country, riding horses, making art with my cowboy buckaroo friends. And one day oh, somebody wrote something. Hey, thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Carrie Kaburger. Thank you, another burger. Do you know Jet Jagerberger? Are you guys related? Thank you, Alyssa. Hello, Alyssa. Whisper. Hello. Alyssa, Melissa, Carrie Burgers. Everybody's burgering around here, isn't that right, Owen? How do you even pronounce your name? That's crazy. I mean, it's cool. I like it, but it is crazy. You have to admit, it's pretty crazy. It's a name you don't see every day, that's for darn sure. This coming from somebody whose name is... That's a name you don't hear every day either. I can't even redo what I just did. Oh gosh, we're lost, aren't we? We're all just lost together. Some of you guys are like, no, I'm fine. I'm not lost. I know exactly what's going on. That one... I like your name, Rat. That's funny. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. Carrie Kaburga. Kaburga. I'm getting it. One of these days I'm gonna cut loose, and everybody's gonna start crying because they're gonna see how good I can dance. And I'm actually going to move people to tears with my choreography skills. I'm not the one dancing, I just design the dancing for others to dance too. But I really shape my dances into shape. Like pretzels. Little dancing, prancing pretzels. Made of bag and bones. No fat whatsoever. I'm afraid this is the last time any of you are going to hear from me. For quite some time. You see, I have a score to settle. That's right, Rat. You know what I'm talking about, Rat. I've got a score to settle. And I'm not coming back until that bastard's dead. And it looks just like this bugger. It looks just like this bugger, this cocky mouthpiece right here. You son of a... I need to drink some water. I think I'm gonna faint. Oh, yeah, no, that's great. That's much better. Much better. Whew, much better. That's great. Oh, I feel much better now. So, how's everybody else doing? Ribbat? Are you a frog? Get it? Just a joke. 'Cause Ribbat, Ribbit. What's your last name? See, the last name is kind of funny too. Ribbits worldwide. That just reminds me of like frogs all around the world, communicating over great distances. Imagine if there were like big ass frogs in the ocean, like the size of great octopuses, or whatever they're called, the giant squids. Hello, Zhao. Zhao, or is it Zhao? Wait, Zhao? Zhao? Or is it Zhao? Sao? How do you say J? Or, I'm sorry, X? What kind of... I think I was close. Zhao. I think I almost got it. See these kind of images and then be able to draw them out? I don't take drugs to see these kinds of things, but it helps. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it helps. Oh, yeah. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Or the burning. I'm not going to beat around the burning bush here. For even that was a metaphor for drug use. With the kind of bush that it was. But, I would say that I explore my mind and I use things to do it, yes. But I don't need to. I have a very creative mind as it is, but I have explored my imagination and my mind endlessly throughout my entire life. Just the other day, I was drinking Windex. You know, I don't recommend it for anybody, but I was doing it. I was pouring it in my eye sockets, and I put it up my butt, and it just wasn't... I don't recommend it, but if you're going to do it on a Wednesday, because then you'll heal by Monday. You'll get these chemical burns, but they'll heal by that coming Monday, and you can get back to work and try something else. All I'm saying is if you're going to try it, do it on the goddamn Wednesday. But anyways, right. What do you think, Sal? What do you think? I think we're all on some kind of kick. I have a different path than you and everybody else. I look like someone that could use help with... I look like... You look like... It looks so funny. What the heck? And Ribbit, absolutely. The frogs are on your side, my friend. Oh, this is all the experiment. Even you guys showing up right in time. Really, really, really bringing it home. And for that, I do appreciate. you, and everything that you bring to the table. Ribat, it's been so long since our families have even met and broken bread together, and I think it's time that we got to do that again. At least once or twice before Armageddon comes. I mean, it's coming. You can feel it, right? It's in the sand. It is coming. It is shaking like the T-Rex in the first Jurassic Park. The best one, in my opinion. But a dinosaur movie, nonetheless. It gets deeper. But why go deep when nothing matters? The world is on fire, as are we. We're all gonna die. Yeah, and the universe is just one day just gonna implode on itself. And I wonder what you guys are getting for dinner. I don't know. 2% and it's not starting. Oh my god! In your car, Goober. You know when I told you that I was joking, right? Because I only pee when I'm out of gas. I either try to put gas in it or I try to pee in it. I mean, whichever I have first. If I have to go, I gotta go. You know. Yeah, when you gotta go, you gotta go. Stupid. I could be a voiceover actor and do mice, I think. I would do mice very well. Like a gangster, a little like mobster rat. Like, hey, that's right. You know? Has that kind of like smack to it. It's got that kind of drab to it. It's got that kind of melody, if you will. Mobster's got melody. Am I the only one that sees this? I don't think I am. I don't want to be. I don't want to be the only one that sees it anymore, Ribat. I always wondered why sometimes you cross paths with someone unique, and no, you will never see them again. I wonder if we are missing something. Ribbit, you laugh like the Joker. Well, maybe the Joker laughs like me. No, I laugh like the Joker, yeah, you're right. I like to think that there is a supervillain inside of me just as much as there is a superhero. And the villain comes out when I need it to, and the hero, well, the hero never comes out. He's best just to stay behind closed doors, minding his own business. The villain gets more done. It's more proactive. Let's just say that, all right? It really gets its hands dirty. All right, let's finish this little part right there now. Did I traumatic up? Whoa. Do you know how I got these scars? All you would get was some kind of story like that. Why not a better question? Why not a better question being that everybody has the traumatic upbringing. Life is traumatic. It only gets worse. But it does inform my creative outlet. And it, depending on how I'm feeling, if I'm feeling confident, if I'm feeling anxious, it changes everything because of what I'm putting down. Are you picking it up? What I'm putting down? Because I like my art. I like this kind of art, this style, to be just as spontaneous as the words that are coming out my mouth. Because to me, life is boring already. It's so stagnant and scripted and rehearsed and safe and pretty and cute and whatever. And then somebody comes along and just doesn't want to play by those rules. Even though people crave those kinds of people, watch how fast people will put them down and mock them and ridicule them just for being a tad bit different. Just for thinking outside the box a little bit. I'm not saying you're doing this. I'm saying people have done this and do this and then do. Oh, I said do. Oh, you gotta say duty. Yeah, I want to say duty. When can I say it? I'll try to fit it in right now. Give me a second. And, you know, art is just, well, it's my civic, artistic, creative duty. See, duty. To create art and to get it out into people's, like, poop. Oh, I said poop. He said poop. And shit like that. You know what I mean, bro? How did it get there? You're not being rude, dude. I was just kidding. No, but sometimes people say something and it reminds me of that some other topic that, because when I go live, I rarely have more than 10 people watching me at a time. Rarely. It's usually about 10 people or under, but usually it's like 4. Is like my number. So it's a great time to get to know me, but I'm also learning from everybody else, and I have to read what you're putting down because you're just texting me, and I can't have like a real conversation with you. Plus, I'm drawing, and I miss things. So when I talk and I go on my little rants, most of the time I'm just doing it because, um, or what I'll try to do is just talk about big picture stuff because politics are boring, and I'm sick of it all, and there's enough of that going around anyways. And if I, like I said the other day, if I ever talk about politics, or I try to make it where if I ever talk politics, it's usually us against them, not all us peons fighting each other because the people at the very top love it and want us to and pay us to or set us up to, you know. It's just I try to look at the big picture stuff because I care about people. I care about I don't know. I care about strangers. Strangers in a strange land. Because I am one of them. I am one of you. And if I was like hurting on the street, or if I got in a car wreck, or if I needed somebody to put a hand on a wound that was bleeding or something, I would hope that. I mean, I mean, I sort of did that once. Sometimes you have to help people in situations that you don't know if you're gonna run or help or what. But I tried to be helpful, anyways, in a very harrowing situation where I didn't think this person was gonna live, and I would just hope that somebody would hold my hand if I thought I was dying. You know, I wouldn't want to be alone in that moment. And I don't know how I got to this. Whew, I don't know how I got to that. I'm very sorry to get so personal, but my art is personal. I'm a very personal person. I like sharing my life, and not because I think it's unique. The more you get to know people, the more you realize that we all have the same stories, we all have the same families, we all have the same, even no matter what kind of upbringing, everybody's basically, usually, very similar by nature. I worked customer service for a long time, and people just say the same stuff all the time, and they think they're so unique. And they come in and they comment on the same thing in the same way, with the same inflection, as if they were related to the person that just came in 20 minutes ago and did the exact same thing. It's fascinating how people think they're so different from each other, yet all walks of life, political, this and that, color of your skin, religion, all this shit, everybody thinks the same. Everybody wants the same stuff. It all boils down to love. It all boils down to love. And tortilla chips. I love tortilla chips. I get up in the morning and I eat those tortilla chips and the salsa and it's freaking, but mostly love. I would say 99.9% of love. It's the key. It's the key that fits the lock of life, right? Love is the key that fits the lock of... Anyways, lock's the key of... You said unlocks. That's funny. I didn't even read that yet. Is there something... Is it because most people don't ever get there? If you help understand others like that, you always get punished at the end. Spicy. I go pretty spicy, to be honest. But I like a bite. I don't like it. I don't like when spice lingers. Like, I don't like after I'm done eating something, an hour later, I'm still like, oh my god, my fucking mouth. I love wasabi and things like that, that just have like a quick boom, like a flash. I really do love food, but I've, yeah, anyways. Hello, digital graphite. Let's see, I'm trying to get some of these comments. I wonder how the mind unlocks that card on the buzzer. So, dreams help. Following your dreams. As stupid and pathetic and weird as I feel like my life gets, which is never as bad as it is compared to a lot of others, you know? I always got to remember that. That I still have people that love me and care for me and have my back and that totally understand who I am and choose to love me anyways. You know, everybody's got a few of them, and I'm lucky to have a few. And I feel like my lot in life is always to kind of, you know, because I wasn't expecting to live this long, to be honest. I thought I would get struck by lightning or something, you know, by now. I'm 5,000 years old. I mean, it's pun intended, but it is getting quite old. Life. Isn't it getting old? But right. I do enjoy it. I just kind of feel like a vampire after so many years. Ugh. Feeling sorry that I've learned that boredom is a great motivation to get me up and do something. Yeah, I don't get bored very often. But yeah, I just listen to my dreams. And I try to follow my heart, follow my instinct, you know? Sometimes your instinct leads you down paths that are wrong as well, but still, you at least learn something. Well, I lucid dream a lot, and lately, I would say this past week, I've been having very intense dreams, but I would just say just if you even dream, I don't know. But my dreams influence my life in a big way, to where every day I feel like I've done it before because my dreams are so deep and layered that I live lifetimes every night. I walk into my dreams, my dream world, and it's just sitting there waiting for me, like another dimension. And I just go in there and do whatever I want. But I can also um, look at it all subjectively, or what's the word? Objectively, um, and forget that I'm. Oh shit! Earthquakes, everybody. Um, and forget that I'm dreaming, and just let it be spontaneous, which I also like, while retaining like my dream power sensibilities too, because I can fly in my dreams. I can hover, jump really high, like Spider-Man, basically, you know, or Neo from the Matrix. That's how my dreams are. And it's this universe that's like post-apocalyptic, sea town, sort of like city on the ocean, you know, with the harbor and everything. And it's crazy. It's like, yeah, it's definitely a place that I built inside my dream world. Anyways, sorry. Yeah, it's always been sort of natural, but it did take practice. And I started practicing it at an early age, like around 8 or 9 years old. But I was dreaming far before that, but that's when I started learning how to control them when I was around 8. When I started flying in my dreams. And then I got so good at flying, it was just ridiculous. I could just do whatever I wanted. But yeah, it was fun. And it still is, but golly, the dreams I've been having lately, they've been quite interesting. I don't want to go up there yet. I am 5,733 years old. I was born on the Nantucket moon of Ior, planet Ior, in the Euclidean galaxy. Many, many moons from here. Doesn't make any sense, but it's true. Absolutely, it's a lie. I'm telling you it's a lie, but it's absolutely 1000% true. I'm 45 years old. I was born in the year 1979, November. So I had 2 months in the 70s, and then it was the 80s, baby. It was the freaking 80s. Everyone was doing it. In the 80s, and all the movies and all the stuff that was coming out, I was just brainwashed thinking that the world had changed and everything. We were going to be like the Jetsons and Star Trek and stuff by the time 2000 came. Everything's going to be peaceful. There's going to be like peace on Earth and peace all over the freaking galaxy and peace, peace, peace. I was like such a naive kid. Like, yeah, tomorrow the future is going to be so cool. like, even as a kid in the 90s, I was a teenager in the 90s. And I still was thinking, well, I'll be able to just get a little house and live by an ocean somewhere and have a stupid job. And because I had no prospect, I didn't know what I was going to do. All I did was draw and play music. And I wanted to make comic books, but then I never dreamed that I would grow up and then the powers, whoever that be, would allow rent to be so corrupt and criminal as it is, that kind of stuff. And so there's a lot of things you got to be careful. You got to protect your inner child and your imagination. You got to protect that stuff because like reality can really hurt it. I know so many people that are so talented, but they just got stuck working these day jobs and just stopped being creative altogether. And that was just never a thing for me. Whenever I have jobs, I work a full-time job, but then I come home and I draw until I fall asleep. Then I get up at like 3 in the morning and I come out and I draw some more before I have to go to work, and I do it every frickin' day for the past 14 stupid years. Something switched over in my brain when I quit drinking. And now I can go back to sleep, but I always wake up at like 2. I'll wake up and I'll know I'll be like, oh, it's like 2:03 right now in the morning. I'll look at my phone, and it says 2:02, but right as it says 2:02, I see that it goes 2:03. It's like ridiculous. And I don't know if anybody else has a brain like that, but it's the weirdest thing. And I guess it is. I'm pretty sure it's common because it's like a freaking trope in horror movies and stuff. Like the ghost, like the clocks stop working at 3:04 every night or something. Anyways, yeah. Most people give up on their real identity by the time they're 20. Man, I didn't even know about my identities until I turned 40. It was like a new lease on life. And now you know, I think too it's important that people know that they don't have to. You can teach an old dog new tricks. You literally can. You literally can. And I'm a bit of an example. I'm not like the best example. I'm kind of a POS, but but if anybody can do it, if I can do it, kind of thing, anybody can do it. Whatever, just whatever that is, like if they just need to focus or quit some kind of substance, or because me quitting alcohol was the best thing that ever happened to me. It allowed me to live for a little bit longer because I wouldn't have been able to live if I had kept drinking. That was 14 years ago. I stopped using like clocks and things like that when I was a kid too, or like not clocks, but alarms, like the I freaking hate that sound so much that my brain just I learned how to. It was the same thing because I had to get up. I've said this story on here so many times, but I used to have to get up and go feed the cows and things like that in the morning. Like I think the earliest I ever had to get up was like 5. you know. But as a kid and as a teenager, you know, you just want to sleep in and stuff, you know, and I'd get up in the rain and the mud out there and stuff. God, in these rubber boots, and it was just you would put the rubber boots on, and they'd have like an inch of water at the bottom, and it's freezing cold, and you have your socks on, and you're like, oh man, oh my god. Farm life, ranch life, but yeah, getting up early. That was when I didn't like getting up early. I liked back then. I would when I, that was when I was learning how to dream in my when I was in my late teens, from like 15 or 14 to um, I would say like 19. I became an absolute master of my like world, my universe. And I could just fly down streets and then go into buildings and these skyscrapers and do all these freaking things. But I was still being chased by monsters down like dark hallways and these like abandoned buildings and things. Freaky stuff, cool stuff. 2:02 a.m. wake up call is very. I think it usually is something like that. It's just after 2:02, but I think I was having dreams about like UFOs last night, and I've always had dreams about UFOs. You hear the siren? They're coming to get me. They're coming to get me. Hold on. I'm gonna play one last song before they get here. I'm an Armageddon artist, waiting in the wing. Going to go to heaven someday, I'm gonna sing. Yeah. I don't know where I'm going, but I know where I've been. I've come a long way with you, my dear friend. All of my life you were going with me down to the hellfire, yeah, next to me. I love you and you love me. Shit. Yeah, there we go. That was. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. You can stop clapping. You can stop clapping now. That was a song sent in from Little Billy from Arkansas, Tennessee. Can you believe that? I had no idea he even knew my songs, but he sent that in, that request, and well, I just wanted to get that out there for Little Billy because he's probably the only one that ever writes to me anymore. Last time he sent me some of his dog's doo doo. He said it was his dog's doo doo. By the time it got here, it was the whole envelope. I opened it and it was just a bunch of fuzz. It was just a bunch of like it looked like it was just fuzz, like white fuzz, and it came out of the envelope like one of them, you know, those cattails, you know, by a pond. When you open those things up and just a billion little things float up in the air. I was inhaling that stuff, and it was disgusting. I had to go to the doctor. I was in a coma. I was in a poo-poo coma for about 32 weeks after that incident. And I just wanted to say that if you're ever, you know, getting fan mail, you might want to just hold it up to the light and make sure there ain't no kind of turd fart, you know, voodoo, hoodoo, hairy donut in there trying to get in your lungs and kill you with its poop vibes and stuff. So just keep that in mind. No, friends. All right. On with the drawing, I think. Story, are you there? Story? What the? Here. What the? Oh my God! You scared me. What the? Why'd you do that? Oh, I just wanted to scare you. That really did scare me. You little bastard. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Are you done? Yeah, I think I'm done. I gotta go take a dump. I'll see y'all later. Story Grubb's gonna take over now. Thank you. Thank you, Billy Bob. Really appreciate that. All right. Hey, everybody. This is Storie Grubb. What did I miss? I only smoke dog turds. This is Labrador. That was a Cheech and Chong joke. I, is it Labrador? I don't know I forget what it actually is. Labrador. I think it's something like that. It's at least they say Labrador. I am I'm a fictional being. What do you about? I'm a fictional being. You thought I was leaving? Wait, carpet looks really cool, man. And then somebody said, lol, lol. And then somebody said, oh, okay, bye, smoke. Thought leaving. Okay. No, sir. Making like a tree, and I'm planting my roots in the ground. I ain't going nowhere. No, I really do gotta leave here in a minute, but I'm not going nowhere. No one's gonna make me change. No one's gonna uproot me. And no, we're planting roots. We're gonna go by in about 2 seconds, and we are planting roots. I don't know who this person is or why they're saying that. No, we're not. We're not planting roots. Gosh darn it! They don't want to hear from you. You're the normie. Don't call me that. What, normie? Don't call me that. Normie. You son of... You better take that back. I ain't taking nothing back. You better take that back. Have a drink of water. No, I don't... Oh, okay. I'll drink some water. Mm. Oh, yeah. No, that was good. That was perfect. Thank you. You're welcome. You seemed a bit parched. Yeah, no, I was. I'm sorry. Did you take that back? No, but I will later. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can work with that. Sorry, friends. I had to deal with my normies, non-artistic folk. Kind of like in the wizarding world, how there's muggles. Normies are people that are not non-creatives and non-supporters of the arts. Let's say that too, because there are people that aren't super creative or that don't draw, but they appreciate art, and there's a symbiosis there. There's a relationship with those kinds of people that we need to refresh and reinvigorate and replenish and populate and like stop saying damn it. It's like I can't talk. Who keeps interrupting me? Is it Slag? I think it's Slaggard over there. She's all sick over there and twisted around. There's this like ghost-like figure that just hangs out. I'll show you. She just sits back there behind the TV tray there. Do you see her? She's looking right at you. So I think normies and non-normies hang out. No. Yeah, we should definitely weed out the normies. You know, stay away from them at least. They're not friendly to you. They're only a danger. Only hang out with creatives and those who support the creatives. Creatively speaking. You know what I mean? Yes, I'm not being literal or anything. It's not like we're digging holes in the backyard and like building camps or something. Come on. We are. So like, just sign up. Link is in the description. We could use all the help we can get. We need more diggers. We need some of those creative artistic diggers. Yeah, we gotta dig some holes. But there's always hope for normies. But it's kind of like, you know, I was saying this the other day, Ribat, you know, later, man, I'll be back later to see the end result. Okay, it's gonna take me days to finish this. You don't understand, Carpet. But the normies are also like the people that are still plugged into the Matrix in the first Matrix movie, right? The people that are still plugged in, and the agents can jump in between them, you know, and kind of reduce some like reconnaissance and just jumping around and stuff into other people and the bodies and stuff, and that's how they do it, right? Yeah. Have you seen enough? That's a freaking great question. You have no idea how much I appreciate that question, because it just feeds into my delusion so wonderfully, so perfectly. Because of course I have. I wouldn't be saying any of this if I hadn't. It's not like there's books written about this kind of stuff. You have to see it for yourself. It's crazy. Hold on. Hold on. Whew. I lost my train of thought and I think I pooped my pants. uh, maybe just a little. What are we talking about? Have I seen a normie switch? Drugs? Drugs? All normies are informants. Normies. I just thought it was like a funny way of like categorizing people that aren't that because there's some people that I know that are like kind of like vicious about it, like jealous almost or something. They just react to art or you creating art in a violent way. I've had people react to my art in a violent way, and I've had to fight all my life to just be myself and be able to speak my mind through my art. And there ain't no way I'm ever backing down from nobody for no reason about it. It's none of their business what I draw, just like it's none of my business how they live. But you know, even if I did draw them when I was at the bus stop, and I drew him like sticking his wiener into a tree or something like that, and I showed it to him right before we got on the bus, and we got in a fight. What's it gonna do? It's art. It's beautiful art. The tree looked very happy, by the way. I'm just kidding. Yeah, well, that's the thing. When you can't categorize, when somebody like me or somebody like you or whoever it is, that when you can't categorize somebody and you can't put them into a nice, neat little package, the best thing you can do is ignore them or cut their feet off. I mean, well, that's kind of harsh, but basically you just ignore them or destroy them. Kind of like how they tried to do to Fox Mulder, in the X-Files, and look where that got them. Hmm? Anybody? Look where that got them. It gave us 7 or 8 seasons of the best Fox Mulder that we ever got. I'm sorry. I fucking love the X-Files. I just love the X-Files. I promised I wouldn't ugly cry. I promised I wouldn't ugly cry. No, I do love the X-Files though. That will keep them away. And it always makes me think of other kids out there that are kind of, or that are like super hyper creatives, you know? I love the term hyper creative because other than like, just basic human needs that I have, nothing is more important to me. And family, I mean, obviously people that I love are important. But as far as like a life pursuit or a life, well, I guess the life pursuit, that's a good enough. As far as a life pursuit is concerned, I've found it, and I found it by the time I could hold a pen and crayon, you know? It was like, oh, this is it. This is my thing. And like I was saying the other night, it's just it's such a wonderful chance to be able to like live as old as I have and to learn as much as I have about art and why I make it and why I want to. But I want to encourage others to do it too, like people who have maybe lost their spark or their craving for it. Because you have to crave it, just like with anything. It's just, then you got to nurture it somehow. There's people that I run into so many freaking people, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not an artist. I can't draw," and I put my drawings in a shoebox or some shit, and I'm like, "Where's the shoebox?" You're at their house. Where's the shoebox? I want to see. And then they whip it out, and it's just like the most beautiful freaking art you've ever seen in your life. Just sitting there in a little shoebox in their apartment, and I think that's just the most magical kind of stuff there is too. When you get to see that side of somebody, that creative side of them, so visually, and how they manipulate the pen and how they interpret art. I'm just always fascinated by how other people approach art and their process and all that kind of stuff. It's always been a really, um, I've always been fascinated by it. Like, and lately I've always just been wondering even why people do it. Like, because it can be such a weight, it can be such a load to carry on your back when it's all you want to do. It's just like when you can't turn it off, it's it's hard to explain without sounding like you're complaining. So I'm not complaining. There's nothing else in the world I'd rather be doing, except a few things. Suntanning is one of them. I love suntanning. I didn't think I was going to do that yet, but I just did it. I think that's okay. Yeah, their mind could also be shoved in a shoebox, along with all that art. I love seeing people coming out of their shells, but it's also important to encourage like young kids to explore their imaginations and just because it helps people look at the world differently. I was drawing superhero comic books from around 5th grade to my senior year, so there was always these themes and these morality tales or whatever, within my comic books. But they were very graphic and gory and violent, super violent. But just like any movies that I watched and things like that too. Like I've said before, the adults in my life would ridicule me for it, and I would get in trouble for drawing some things that I did. But at the same time, I'm watching all these movies where any kind of Arnold Schwarzenegger movie is just as violent, if not more violent, than what I'm drawing. But just because I'm drawing it, even as a kid, people thought I was possessed or something. They didn't understand. I didn't know how to articulate it too. It was like, yeah, you guys see the kind of video games and the movies we watch. Naturally, I'm gonna like draw weird stuff. I'm just kind of I gravitate towards weird. you know, I like weird. I like weirdos. Yeah, there I said it. They give up on their calling. A lot of people give up on their calling, but I think that people can come back. Don't you? Because yeah, one day something will happen to where you don't fit into that machine anymore. You become a kink. You become a kink in the machine, and you don't fit. And then it all unravels for there, and then you remember what it's like to be one of us. But that's why it's important to encourage young people to be able to speak their mind creatively. And there's a lot of, I don't know, a lot of crap floating around. So it must be a really confusing time to grow up in. So much media. When I was a kid, we had up until I was about in the 7th grade, 6th grade, we only had 3 channels. We had 3 channels on TV. And we had bunny ears on that freaking thing. And we had two VHS movies. We had a VCR with 2 movies. One of them was Die Hard, and the other one was American Werewolf in London. Another movie that's crazy that we got to watch, and they were tripping out on my comic books. If you've ever seen Werewolf in London, American Werewolf in London, it's very graphic. Anyways, it's just crazy. Then we started getting we got Crocodile Dundee 2, and all sorts of other great movies, but those were the best. Yeah, it would take something traumatic, unfortunately. And it's the saddest thing to me is seeing like folks with wasted potential, you know? There's all I see is like endless potential in people, and like what we could actually build together as a common, you know, as just common people. It's like as one race of human beings. Oops, earthquakes, everybody. Golly gosh darn dang. What we could do and like what we choose to do are just like, they'll just make me sad if I think about it too much. Not that there's not a lot of good stuff that goes on out there and a lot of people doing good things and whatever, but I try to make this channel not about any of that kind of stuff, and then I'm always the one to bring it up and then dwell on it, because then I think about all the people out there suffering and stuff right now, and it's just kills me inside. And I wish I could do more. I wish I could do anything except just know it's happening and that I can't do anything, you know? That's kind of the worst. But all you can do is just work on yourself and try to be better so you can pump out the goodness and hope that it gets infectious, contagious. Just be kind. Make people smile. Make people laugh. Poop your pants, you know? Just poop your pants right now. Who cares? Just do it. You only live once or twice. I don't even know. Who cares? Poop your pants and live twice. That's what my great-great-granddaddy used to tell me before he shot up into the sky on a rocket ship made of poop. He was quite extraordinary. They called him the Poop Master. Poop Master 3000. I think that was my great-granddaddy's name. Or was that? Yeah, no. That was him. That was definitely him. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Hey, thanks, CJ. You know, that's a really sweet thing to say. And you spelled my name right. CJ. I really appreciate that. Have you met Ribbit? Ribbot, how do you pronounce your name? If I'm insulting you, I'm sorry. I always do that. I always give people nicknames anyways. Ribat. Ribat? Because I want to say Ribat. I think it's Ribat. And I don't mean to enunciate it like that, like Ribat. I'm just trying to really make it clear how I'm trying to pronounce it. Because I like trying to pronounce people's names right as well. Like, what is it? Hey, Brookie. like who is this up here? Kimberly. Kimberly. I'm still trying to pronounce that. It's been 2 weeks. I've been trying every day. Lytle. Hired. Dang it. How do you pronounce that? Gosh, I'm almost there. Oh, wait. Oh, it's Kimberly. Oh, okay. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Kimberly. I used to feel bad about people who suffer. Then I realized that sometimes what it takes to awaken. Well, I mean, I agree. Reboot. That it is it's an interesting thing too, because of what we all tend to. I don't know what you believe, you know, as far as afterlife or anything like that. I don't really. It's none of my business. But I have different scenarios in my head of what's going to happen after I go and what it means, you know? Because what does it mean, even if you're suffering and then to just die and not, you don't get any justice or you don't get any help or whatever it is, you know, you just go, and it's really unfortunate. What does that mean, even compared to somebody who gets to just live a big full life? They get to learn and love and all this stuff, but then it's ripped away from them at the end. You know what I mean? it's like there's a lot of life isn't just good for some and bad for others. There's good and bad in everything, every step we take. And it's up to us to make life what it is, you know? it's not a game. It's a series of choices, and a lot of it has to do with perception and ego and common sense and the fact that we're everything is sort of out of control, yet it still sort of maintains its shape. Like if we all walked around just like seriously just like knowing how fragile life is and how wonderful it is, and I mean, I think it would people would get annoying. It's kind of like in the Matrix when they describe when they I think the Agent Smith is describing how they made like a perfect matrix, and they lost several crops of people because people just wouldn't the humans that they put into the system or whatever plugged in wouldn't buy it. They didn't buy that it was so perfect. Like they didn't believe in perfection. You had to have a world like ours where there is suffering, because I mean, and unfortunately, it's true in a very philosophical way that without suffering, without the bad, you wouldn't know what good was. You would have no concept of good if you didn't know how bad it could get or that others were suffering. You know, that kind of thing. That's a long-winded way of trying to be philosophical, I think, but it's true. But it is true because that you can look in your own life. You had to hit rock bottom, or something had to kind of hit you over the head for you in order for you to change. And sometimes that person does come out of nowhere, and for good or bad, you know, the bad. And sometimes it's you. But all the better, whoever it is that you need to come and shaken you up and wake you up out of whatever slumber you've been in, whatever reality coma you've been stewing in. And the faster the better. Because like I said, it's not a game, it's live. I'm talking to myself now. I can always give out the advice, but I can never take it. We will just call it. Hey, Brookie. Sorry, I can read these things again. I'm sorry. Kimberly Little Heart. Hi, Kimberly. I believe in justice as well. We are energy beings, and remember, energy can't be created or destroyed. I agree with that as well. Like, light exists because of darkness, exactly. If we only had light, we wouldn't know what light is. And I think, you know, in that way, there are probably, it just seems like this isn't the end. It just doesn't to me. But it also feels like this has all happened before. Like this has all just happened before. And sometimes, like I was talking about my dreams, how deep I can go, to where like the next day when I'm walking around, it's almost like my dreams are coming true. Whatever I saw in my dreams the night before, I'm witnessing, or I'm implementing the same sorts of, because sometimes I'm a different sort of, I have a different attitude in my dreams, and I'm more outgoing, and I can just walk up to anybody and talk with them, and just be this gift of gab genius kind of person in my dreams. And you know, it's kind of like being in the zone when you have like a few drinks and you're just like the perfect buzz, you know, where you can just like kind of talk with people and you're just like the life of the party. But then you have that third beer and it's like I had many of those third beers, believe me. That sound was just constantly going every night. Um, Anyways, but it's also something you can't sustain, you know, unless you're a very, very gifted person. Those are the kinds of, you can't be in the zone all the time. You have to kind of come out of it and re-energize, you know, because I feel like I have to do things and recalibrate my brain every day after I go live on these things sometimes, because so much comes out that I almost have to go out and get more and interact with humans and just go to the ocean and see things and see dead things. And because whenever I go on the roads towards the ocean around here, there's so much dead animals on the way there, like all sorts of dead animals, like all over. Usually in the spring, there's just like skunk after skunk after skunk, like a highway of skunks, and it's just so terrible. But I remember when I was a kid, when I was growing up, we used to see dead animals all the time. But you know, I'm not. It's not like I don't ever want to get used to seeing that. But it's just sad. It makes me sad because I also see deer and other wildlife and stuff, and it's just like no. uh, Anyways, I hope everybody has a wonderful night. I think I might head out now. Oh. Anyways, let's see. I am very interested in your dreams. If there is an emotional pattern you experience in your dreams that relates to your waking experience, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. My dreams are very abstract, and I don't remember them. I don't recall them as much as I wish I could. I usually just wake up and it's like a feeling, or throughout the day I'll have deja vu and I'll remember the dreams like flashes of, you know, like visions almost. That's how it feels. If I had to describe it, my dreams would feel like visions, like of a future even that's way down the road or something too, but or even just like a parallel dimension or something like a flash of another dimension. That's how it sort of feels. Um, but obviously they're dreams, so it could be influenced by literally anything. Um, but they're very, very vivid. Hmm. Hey, Pastor. Yeah, so if that feeling relates to your experience that day, oh yeah, like I'll wake up out of a dream that was like scary or something like that, and then the all day long I'll be anxious and on edge and expect, doom around, impending doom around every corner kind of stuff. My dreams definitely. I think it works both ways too. We feed our dreams, and then our dreams feed us, and back and forth until my dreams are so dense that I just sometimes in waking life I don't know if I'm dreaming or not. Like I'll be driving and all of a sudden I'll just be in my dream for like 10 seconds. And it's kind of freaky because then I'll realize, oh shit, I just drove, however many, feet in 10 seconds, and I don't even remember it. But I remember being in this other dream, like when I was driving or something. And it's kind of scary sometimes. But it's fun too because I'm the kind of person that even if I have a bad trip or a nightmare or something like that, I can still get something from it. And I'm not afraid of nightmares as much as because I know how important those are too, and experiencing, because it's important when you have like, if you, have a bad trip or something like that, or if you're having a nightmare, you have to have those every once in a while. You have to feel that pain. You have to walk through that fire in order to know that you can come out the other side alive. It's like there's nothing like having a horrible like a horrible dream where I've had really bad dreams where I'm just in prison for murder or something like that. And all of a sudden I just realize I'm in prison for the rest of my life. and and I'm just like, no, like Darth Vader, when he's like, no. And I'm just about to be like, no, oh my God, holy crap. And I wake up and I'm like, oh my, I kissed the freaking ground. It's almost like in that scene in Fight Club when Tyler and the narrator are in the back of the convenience store with what's his name, the shop clerk, um, not Arnold. God, what's his name? The kid that they pulled out. But he's like, tomorrow, Franklin, his cereal's gonna taste better than it ever has, and you know he's gonna be happier than he's ever been in his entire life, kind of thing. Because you got to walk through the fire in order to understand how good it can be too, and how resilient you are. Because that's how you learn. That's how you get to know yourself and your limits and what you're capable of and what kind of person you are when you push yourself like that. Even if it's subconsciously, a lot of people do it subconsciously. They'll purposefully sabotage themselves just so they can walk through a certain fire because their soul knows that it needs that kind of nourishment. And I'm having a big guru spaghetti Western weekend this weekend. If anybody wants to come over, it's still going on. Lots of spaghetti, and lots of guru going on around here. And, $175,000 at the door, and you are in, friends. Nobody's shown up yet, but I'm still waiting. Holding you down in your dream? I've had those dreams. I've had the holding me down dreams, that's for sure. I'm a claustrophobic person though too, so I do have claustrophobic dreams a lot, where I'm like crawling through air ducts or crawling through caves, like caverns, and they're too tight for me to fit in. Scary. But anyways, I'm gonna head out. I hope you guys have a wonderful night and take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. And love. That's right, I said it. Love. All right. Love you. Later, Pastor. Later, Kimberly. Later.